Words on the topic infectious diseases. Plague. To evaluate. Bloating. Blood count. Celiac disease. To ameliorate. Bismuth. PPI. Proton pump inhibitor. Heartburn. Eradication. Dysphagia. Shortness of breath. Breathlessness. To adhere to. Hallmark. Jaundice. Urea breath test. While breathing ambient air. Autopsy. Botulism. Measles. Whooping cough. Cholera. Rabies. Hepatitis B. Lyme disease. Syphilis. Helicobacter pylori infection. To be persistent. Airborne. Airways. Respiratory tract. Infection site. To remove. Malnutrition. Bloody cough. To cough up blood. Sputum. Saliva. Impaired consciousness. Hacking cough. Barking cough. Ashen skin. Outward symptoms. Side effects. Physicist. Smallpox. To lay the groundwork for. Complication. Drug resistant. Resistance to the drugs. To exacerbate. Stigma. Urine test. To yield results. To run a test. To do labs. Mold. Bark. Rash. Fatigue. Sweltering fever. Swollen throat. Swollen lymph nodes. Limbs. Torso. Blindness. Deafness. Rubella. Lymph nodes. Mucous membrane. Severe. Mild. Buttocks. Joint pain. Congenital. Abnormality. Anomaly. Muscular pain. Nasal congestion. To faint. To pass out. To black out. Vector. Origin. Ailment. Illness. Disease. Sickness. Disorder. Herd immunity. Flu. Spanish flu. Swine flu. Strep throat. Sputum. To deal with. Germs. Bugs. Microbes. Leftover. To gulp down. Tough to kill. To put it simply. To comply with something. To discontinue. Prematurely. To cause. To provoke. To trigger. Self-medication. To afford to do something. Counterfeit. Gallbladder. Thyroid. Pituitary. Adrenal glands. Thymus. Pregnancy. Tuberculosis. Meningitis. Fierce. Inflammation. Transmission. To sneeze. Blood-brain barrier. To stiffen. Annual. To break out. Outbreak. Epidemic. Layer. To shut down. To fail. Light sensitivity. To contract a disease. To pick up a disease. Skeletal lesions. Avian. Small intestine. Large intestine. Words on the topic psychiatry. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, SSRI. To skyrocket. To seek help. To fall by the wayside. To respond to. Relapse. Deficiency. Grogginess. Postpartum depression. Reluctantly. Intake. Consumption. Body mass index, BMI. Blood pressure, BP. Resting pulse. Dental enamel. Thinning hair. Marked weight loss. Binge eating. Overeating. Obesity. Purging. Fasting blood glucose. Platelet. Brief. Brief hospitalization. To discharge a patient. To admit a patient. Eating disorder. Body image disturbance. Bulimia nervosa. Anorexia nervosa. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. To ponder deep questions. Upcoming. To keep someone awake. Unsolvable loop. To be at the heart of something. Occasional restless night. To snore. Emotional distress. Sleep deprivation. Jet lag. To wreak havoc on. Exhaustion. To catch up with. To overpower fatigue. Fatigue. To pile up. To hijack. To jolt the body into hyperarousal. The quality of the rest is compromised. To speed up metabolism. To work overtime. Sleeping pills. To prescribe a medication. over-the-counter pills, highly addictive, withdrawal symptoms, delicate balance, bipolar disorder, psychiatrist, remission, self-medication, delusion, mood swings, self-blame, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, to sweat, rapid heartbeat, tremor of the limbs, gastrointestinal tract, influence, hallucination, delirium, obsessions, repetitive thoughts, compulsions, behavioral therapy, psychotherapy, pharmacotherapy, drug therapy, risk assessment, violent thoughts, finicky, disabling, impairing, contamination, pollution, intrusive thoughts, insomnia, sleeplessness, feature, to gain universal acceptance, late onset, to go undetected, abrupt, gradual, substance abuse, to recover from, breakdown, oddities of behavior, bizarre, outcome, auditory hallucinations, angry outbursts. Words on the topic neurology. Stroke. To disrupt the blood supply. Disrupting the blood supply. Disability. Recovery from. Recurrence. Relapse. Vascular. To predispose. Predisposition. To be predisposed to. To give rise to. Stroke. Reduction. Flow of blood. Reversible. Irreversible. Carotid artery. Branch. Cross-flow. Occlusion. The extent of. Perfusion. Ischemic stroke. To rely on. Cerebral artery. Acute thrombus formation. Vessel. Origin of. Split. Cardiac disease. Contralateral. Loss of feeling. Involvement of. Face. Numbness. Vertigo. Plaque. Mortality rate. Gait disturbance. Transient ischemic attack. Intermittent claudication. Claudication. Family history. Brute. Insidious. Rupture. Laceration. Outcome. Reduction. Decrease. To alleviate. Occurrence. Recuperation. Scope. Migraine. Visual impairment. Blurred vision. Slurred speech. Frequent urination. Sweating. To eliminate. To require. Malignant neoplasm. Subarachnoid hemorrhage. Facial twitching. Convulsion. Seizure. Medicinal herbs. Skull. Intercranial. Sizable risks. A leap forward. Excess activity. To hypothesize. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. CPR. Stiffness. Vigorous activity. Range of motion. Lumbar bending. Tenderness. Acute. Recurrent. Worrisome findings. Heating pad. Counterindication. To abate. NSAIDs. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Referral. Lesion. Multiple sclerosis. Spinning head. Doubling of image. Itching. Burning. Goosebumps. Neglect syndrome. To insist on. Paretic. Spatial. Denial of. Deficit. Lesser degrees of something. Hemisphere. Adverse effect. Prospect for rehabilitation. To encounter something. To be aware. To confirm. Constellation. Stimulus. Extinction. Awareness. Simultaneously. Failure to move. Dissociable. Distinctive. Distinctive pattern. To elucidate. To facilitate. Fruitful field. Absence of. Lack of. Apprehension of the stimulus. Olfaction. To distinguish. Deliberately. Simultaneous. Extinguished stimulus. Tendency.